shop, look into a couple of items. I think I mentioned it on a prior video, but on one of my cleanups that I did, I went to back the dump trailer with the leaf vac and everything set up on it into a tight area, kind of like around some trees and up over this little rock wall, and it's kind of this whole ordeal. But the reason I was doing it is there was probably half of a dump trailer's full of leaves that I had blown into a pile that I was going to try to push them to the front of the house, where the dump trailer was, but I wasn't able to. I could only make it around halfway around the side of the house, so I decided that I needed to get the trailer to be able to suck the pile up. Other than that, it would be a ridiculous amount of time trying to get it over to the leaf blower, the leaf loader. So what I ended up doing was backing into this tight area that I successfully did, and I brushed up against a tree as I was doing it, which I knew that I did at the time, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal, and it turns out that it was. And well, I guess it could be worse, but I didn't realize it until a couple days later, or a little later on that day. Maybe it was the next day, I don't know. But I went to go grab my combi unit, the PAS Echo unit that I have, and I noticed that the carburetor, the whole carburetor assembly unit with the air filter and everything, was broken right off the side of it. And at the time, I'm like, oh, that's crazy. I must have hit a branch going down the street or whatever. I didn't realize, thinking back, that that's when it happened. So yeah, brushing up against the tree on that side, it ended up doing that. It also bent up the motor harness bracket, the motor stabilizer bracket on the Green Touch 3-place or 4-place. I don't even know how many I got. I think it's a 4-place trimmer rack. Maybe it's a 3-place. But one of those ended up getting all bent up, which I think should just be an easy fix. It's aluminum, pretty heavy duty aluminum. I'm surprised it bent in the way that it did, but I'll show you later in this video. It kind of curled right up good. I also bent the back of the dump trailer fender, which turned out to be not that big of a deal. With just one hand, I was able to pull it back and remove about 90% of the bend. Still needs a little bit of a touch up just to tap it back in place to make it look like it was never done. So it did those. Oh, and also the tarp roller that goes up high, it hit the tarp roller, I guess, and bent the whole tarp roller assembly over. It just has, it's just mounted on 2 flat steel brackets that come off the front of the dump trailer, and it pushed them over, I'd say probably a good 3 inches, so the whole tarp setup now is offset when it should be centered on the trailer. So 3 things bent that I can fix pretty easily, and then I need to order the part for the PAS combi system. But that's going to be part of the topic of this video, guys, is about doing things that you don't typically do, driving in areas that you're not used to driving, just moving things outside of your typical day-to-day activities. Everything should have a place and systems, and other than that, if you don't, these things happen. You end up wasting money, time, and such and such. I'm sure if you look back on anything that you guys have broken in the past, there's usually a pretty good reason why it happened that could have been prevented by a little bit of forethought or preparation or slowing down. And that's how it always happens for me, is I usually have a pretty good system of getting things put where they need to go. And as long as I'm not making any huge changes, like changing shops and things like that, once I get it set into a system, it works pretty well for me, and I keep going with it. You can only make small adjustments as you go. But this is one of those examples that I'm not used to pushing the, it all stemmed. I would have pushed all the leaves out to the curbside with my walker mower on this job, and the reason I didn't was because the pulley, the pulley exploded. The idler pulley that I have in a prior video, a couple videos back, I had to replace the bearing in the idler pulley. When a machine goes down like that, you end up not using it, obviously, on when you would like to use it, and that's what happened. I would have brought it to that job and used it on that job if I had it, but I didn't. So because of that, it was this whole ripple effect that, or snowball effect, not a ripple effect, that because of not using it, I wasn't able to push the leaves, so I ended up having to come up with another way to get the job done efficiently, which involved me backing the trailer into an area that I wasn't used to doing. And that in turn bent up all kinds of things and broke stuff and cost me money. So it all just comes down to there's usually reasons why these things happen, and you know, they're going to happen anyways. You're never going to eliminate all of them in your business, but you definitely can prevent a lot of it by a little bit of forethought and slowing down and thinking. So just kind of wanted to put that in there on the way down to the shop here, and kind of a prelude to the rest of this video. So all right. Is the damage that I got on my Green Touch rack. Just this aluminum, what is it, motor holder, I guess they call it, on the Green Touch racks. You can see how twisted up it is. Not that big of a deal. I should be able to just take these bolts out and put it in a vise and straighten it back out. So I did that. Hopefully this shows up on video, but the fender actually was pushed in a little bit more. I don't know if you can see the little bit of a wrinkle here. I actually was able to pull it back some. It was almost hitting the tire. And then I'll go ahead and show you the piece of equipment that was in here that got broken. Actually, no, it wasn't in here, it was down here. But the carburetor assembly got broken right off of it. So this, and that is all from not taking your time. This is what happened to my Echo PAS 2620. As you can see, pretty much just broke right off of here. So that's kind of the intake right there. Looks like the intake itself might have broke too. I don't know. So what I'm going to do is take this apart and figure out exactly what's broken. Obviously this plastic housing is broken, which may be all that's broken. Hopefully it looks like this is okay. So yeah, just that piece. These 3 screws here are what hold that on. So hopefully that looks like all I need, actually, which is good. So I'm going to order up this piece here and get this back together. This is one of the things that I need to repair. Yeah, it looks like this also came out. I don't know if that is just popped out here. I'll have to look that up and see. But again, I wanted to get that on video so I can tell exactly what parts I do and don't need. Okay, so this is just a rubber. All right, I don't know if there's something else that's supposed to be there or not. It looks like this, actually, it looks like this goes on the other side of this plastic housing, and it pulled out. This flange goes inside there. Okay, so well, I'll look that up on a parts list and see. It looks to me like it's not damaged, then I should be able to pop that back in, remove that cover and put it back in. So yeah, that's PAS 2620. That's probably only 2 years old. It's probably only got 5 or 6 hours on it. I haven't used it much at all, so it's definitely worth repairing. Typically on something like that, I just buy another one. So there's that needs repair. My blowers are in pretty good shape. The backpack blowers are pretty much all set there. So yeah, as far as damage happened, you know, it's always when you're trying to rush yourself on a job, it seems. You know, one time, like I think I put it up on a video, I had to move my truck quickly because I came in to mow somebody's lawn and one of the contractors had to leave. So I put the mower back up on the trailer really quick, you know, just threw the ramp up quick just to move the trailer to let the guy out and put it back. And in the time I had the mower running, sitting on the trailer, you know, I stopped it where I typically wouldn't leave it on the trailer with it running, and I had basically I backed up and that blow, I don't know if it was that blow or the other one, was right next to the muffler, and it went and burnt the plastic. This one has a burnt strap. I don't think that's what that was from. I think it's the other one. Yeah, this isn't the one, but I'll show you before I leave outside here what happened. Basically all this plastic kind of like got melted up and bubbled up. It looks horrible, but it still works fine. So I didn't really have to fix anything there, but like I said, it's always when you're trying to rush that you end up breaking something. So you know, take your time. Also, when you're doing something that you're not typically used to, you've got your routine, you've got systems in place. You know, you put your mower up here, you put your trimmer there. All that stuff has a spot for reasons like this. When you place your blower down somewhere that it's not supposed to, when you park your mower somewhere that you typically wouldn't park it, there's unforeseen things that you can't sit there and evaluate in a split second when you're going to have to move your truck really quick, or you know, your truck broke down and you got a flat tire in the middle of the road, and you put things down quickly. That's when things get broken. That's when you forgot that you put something somewhere. If you're on a phone call, say you're taking customer information down, usually something you do during that phone call, like you might have, say you were at your desk and you go to pick up a pen and you picked up a marker instead, and you're like, oh, that's not the marker, and you put that down, and then you find your pen, and then when you go to look for that marker that you picked up during that phone call, you cannot find it anywhere, because in the moment your mind isn't thinking about where you're putting the marker. You're just kind of going through the motions of getting what needed to be done in that moment done, and that's when things get lost and mistakes happen, things get broken. So I say it all the time, I preach it to myself, try to slow down. You know, there are instances where things have to be decided quickly, but just know each time you do something different than you typically do, or you have a system for, there's a risk involved, and that's when you're going to end up hurting something. And part of that is having a place for everything, and organization and neatness. As you can see, organization and neatness is very priority here at KLC Lawn and Landscaping headquarters. As you can see, everything has a place. Everything is neat where it needs to be. I know where everything is. If I need my drill, it's right here in this pile of 7,000 things. No, but for real, that's why we're always trying to keep things neat. Obviously, a ton of attention needs to be given down here. This whole place is just a disaster. I have taken small steps here and there to have a place for things, but literally it needs to be where every single item has to have a place. When somebody grabs something from a place and they're done using it, it goes back to that exact place. It has to be that way. If you don't do that, you're going to spend your life breaking and killing a lot of time searching for items. So that's kind of my topic of this video, is organization, taking your time. Of course, this is something that should be more discussed in the spring when we're getting started, not at the end of the season when everybody's kind of finishing up. But the reason I'm bringing it up now is because anything you can do now when you have the free time and the time off to make these changes, think it out. You know, kind of think your whole day out from start to finish when you wake up in the morning. Just anything you can do to shave time and make it simple is gonna it's gonna be more money in your pocket in the long run. Less breakdowns, less wear and tear, you know, basically all that stuff. So having said that, I've got plenty of things to do down here. I've got plenty of things to work on. I always do. That's what it is. That's what business is about, is there's always something to do. But I enjoy this stuff. This is the type of stuff that I like doing. I'd rather not pay somebody to do all this, at least at this point in my life. I like the fact that I can do it at my schedule when I want to, as opposed to on somebody else's schedule and having to rush things. And so that's the way I've always done it for 20-something years now, and that's the way I'm going to continue to do it until I can't do it anymore. Another project that I want to do is I picked up this electric concrete mixer, which is really good actually for what it is. It was from a rental company that I deal with. I'm actually friends with the owner, and we do business. You know, I do lettering for him and stuff, and I rent equipment from them and whatnot. This was, it had a frame on it, you know, with wheels that you could roll it around, and the frame broke. So I could have just repaired the frame, but at the time I knew that I didn't want to use it like that. So my intentions with this is utilizing the frame that's left here, because it has the rollers and stuff for it to work on. I want to remove this handle that's broken on here as well, and I'm going to build a kind of a little subframe with a couple of clamps that I can slide and clip onto my Bobcat bucket, or any Bobcat for that matter. So it'll have like a couple little channels that'll come out with kind of like a, you know, almost like a C-clamp setup. Of course, trying to find a C-clamp in a big mess is going to be impossible, but you know what I'm talking about, the big C-clamps that you'd twist the screw and it would clamp it down. So I want to have this set up where I could just slide it right on a Bobcat bucket, and that'll give me the ability to be able to angle it the way that I need to and actually move it around, lift it up, and pour it if need be. You know, of course, I could also just pour it right into you know, a wheelbarrow if I'm on a job where I can't get the Bobcat in. If I'm doing concrete work, most likely the machine's there. So I want to build a nice small little setup for that allows me, it'll have a couple handles on it so I can still pick it up with one person, and then I can go ahead and slide it on the bucket. So that's another thing that I want to work on. So anybody who's got any ideas or seen anything similar than to that, I know that you can buy attachments for skid steers that are mixers and it runs off the hydraulic, which would be great. But given that I already have this, I think I paid $75 for it. Now, you know, it's ugly and it looks horrible, but the bottom line is this is a plastic tub, I believe, a little electric motor. It works great for what I need. I can mix up a couple of bags, you know, 80-pound bags of concrete if I'm doing cobblestone edging or whatever the case may be, a cobblestone skirt. It actually works really well, and I like that. For the money, I just can't see spending thousands of dollars for a dedicated attachment for the machine. So where's the ball? Where's the ball? Go get it. Where's the ball? Go get it. Where is this? Go get the ball. Go get it. Go get it. Where's the ball? Go get it. Go get the ball. Where is it? Come on. You like the snow? It's the ball. Go get it. Where's the ball? Where's the ball? Go get it.